Hi, Nahani here. I'm an actor and an acting coach, and I'm here today to help you with your Zoom stress because I know that people are stressing about Zoom auditions. It's weird. Yes, it is. But people are booking from Zoom auditions, and you're going to book too. I'm going to show you how. Okay. We're going to go through a checklist to make sure you've got it all down. We're going to sort out the tech, and I'm going to give you a few extra pro tips to make your auditions stand out. Okay. You ready? Let's jump in. Tip number one, use your laptop, not your phone. Because why? You can't put your phone on airplane mode for a Zoom audition, just in case you didn't notice that. So you've got to get your laptop out, use your laptop, and you do not want to be interrupted. You don't want the casting director to be interrupted. So definitely use your laptop. You could do most of this with just a laptop, but we are going to go into some pro tips and just to make sure that you got all of the options. Okay. Here's pro tip number one. This is a Logitech webcam. This is what I'm using right now. And it just gives you a better picture, which I will show you a little later on. I'm going to show you the difference between your laptop and the Logitech picture. But I love this thing, but you don't have to get it. This is just, if you want to upgrade, you want to get this beautiful piece of equipment. The most important thing is you get a Zoom account with your name on it, nobody else's name, your name. It's a free thing. Get it for free. You can use it for all kinds of things. You got to learn the preferences. No virtual backgrounds. Okay. Don't get funny with the virtual backgrounds because the casting directors don't like it. It's distracting. It distracts from your face, and we want to see your face. Pin your reader. So this is something that they all tell you to do. And I can't show you on this, but I'm going to just tell you, you're going to take your cursor once you're in the Zoom audition. You're going to hover it over the top right-hand corner of the reader's little window there, and you'll see a little menu come up, three little dots. You're going to click on that and you will see the drop-down menu. Now, what you want to do is practice this with another actor before you get into the audition. Do not wait to the audition to practice this, okay? This is the most important thing. That's probably the best pro tip I can give you. Now we're going to go into preferences, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the preferences. Okay, I got to put my glasses on for this because I can't see. Here we go. Preferences. And it starts off, let's start with video. So here's a video. I'm going to show you the difference between the Logitech webcam and the laptop, just so you can see why I went the extra mile. Okay, so here I've got the Logitech webcam is plugged in. We're going to switch to the FaceTime HD camera, which is what's in my laptop, and then you're going to see the difference. Sorry about those glasses there, but let's just take them off. See, it's quite different. Now, you can still do it with this. That's fine. Maybe a little more light. You might need more light. I don't have daylight right now. And if I did, it would probably be better. But I'm going to go back to the Logitech camera instead because, well, it's just nicer. Okay, let's also skip down to touch up my appearance. Here's a pro tip for you. Touch up my appearance is right here. And if we unclick that, I still look okay. I've got a ring light, but if you wanted to touch it up and just smooth out the edges, well, you could go all the way to Barbie doll here on the max, but I'm just going to keep it at just a little, just a little softening there. Pro tip. Audio. So here I've got my Rode microphone. This is my self-tape microphone. I love this mic. I've got this plugged into my laptop. But if you don't have a microphone, you can just use the laptop mic, the built-in one. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the difference between the Logitech webcam mic, which is now this. Do you see the difference in the sound, or can you hear it? Can't see it. Maybe you can see it, but you could probably hear it better. The difference in the sound between the Logitech webcam and back to the built line in Rode microphone, so much better. So there's quite a few little preferences here you can play with. I suggest you get familiar with them. Again, practice with another actor so that there are no surprises. Number three, which maybe should be number one, maybe there should be a whole bunch of number ones because this is super important, is your internet connection. Clear the Wi-Fi decks for your audition. Just tell everybody in the house to just, get off for a little bit. You could say it nicely. And make sure that your Wi-Fi connection is not interrupted. So here's your pro tip, okay? And this is a must do. This is not an option. This is you got to do this like right now. You've got to get an Ethernet cord, a 10-foot Ethernet cord for $10. It's $10. And this is what it looks like. Okay. You're going to love this thing. I don't do anything without it anymore. The Ethernet cord, and you will get that for $10. It plugs into your modem, plugs into your laptop, and you will have a great solid internet connection. The casting directors will love you. Number 4, lighting. No shadows on your face. Okay. Make sure your lighting source is behind your laptop, not above you. That's a big, big no-no, because what happens when you have overhead lighting? Bad things happen. I look like a Shar-Pei for one. You might just look like a raccoon, but either way, it doesn't work. You need the lighting coming from behind your laptop, behind the camera, right? Your lighting source. So here's a pro tip. Well, you can use daylight. You can put a whole bunch of lamps behind your laptop, but let's go right into the pro tips here, because you're going to need this. If you're a serious professional actor, you need a ring light, and it looks like this, a ring light, and you need a tall one. The stand should be, what this one is 78.7 inches. This is tall enough for me. Don't cheap out on the ring light, because if you buy a $30, $50 ring light, you're going to hate it. You're going to want to throw it across the room or out the window, and it will not make your auditions pleasant and fun to do. You want to have the best equipment you can afford so that you can be free to focus on your acting, right? And I have used the small ones and the crappy ones. They break. I have to pile them, stand them up on things. You don't want to do that. Get the tall ring light. Now this one, I don't know the brand on this one, but I know it priced about $150. Anything less than that is probably going to suck. Just warning you. The other thing you can do is use a Loom Cube, which I have. I love these. Look how tiny it is. It's a tiny little thing, but it packs oh, wow. I think I just blinded myself there. Yeah, packs a punch. It's very, very bright. Now this one, oh my God, I gotta turn that off my eyeballs. It's really good though. And it's so small. So it has a little suction cup on the back, as you can see in the picture, and that sticks onto the back of your laptop, and that will give you a tremendous amount of light. I could be just using that right now, but I wanted to show it to you. So I'm using my ring light instead. Okay, backgrounds, non-virtual. I told you that. Absolutely have to say it again. They hate the virtual backgrounds. They're very distracting. The most important thing is there are no distractions. So clear the clutter. It's a great opportunity to clean up. Make sure you're not backlit, so there's no light source from behind you, so you don't want any halos. Okay. No, a blank wall is fine. I have, the pro tip here is the backdrop. I do have a backdrop because I do a lot of self-taping, a lot of auditioning. I'm a working actor myself, so I have this stuff. You need to get it eventually, but you're fine with a blank wall. Just make sure there's no weird clutter things behind you. Okay. Here's the pro tip: the backdrop of the curtains. This is what I use. I have a backdrop with a couple of IKEA curtains on it. I like a light blue. This is important. If you have dark hair, don't get a black backdrop. Don't blend in with your backdrop. So even like a light gray, a light blue is great. Just make sure that it doesn't match your hair color, okay? Because then you just look like a weird little floating face. So we want to have this backdrop. This is a great one. I love this. You can also, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, or if you're traveling, this is a $50 thing. It's just kind of folds up into a little package. And it's great for if you're just sitting and you just want to have something right behind you. But this other backdrop, this one, it allows you to move. Okay. I've got a lot of movement here, and we're going to talk about movement a little later on. Sound, keep it quiet in your house. If I could have a little soundproof room of my own, I would be a happy little actor, but I have to share the space with my family, and I have a lot of sound traveling around my house. So I have to kind of tell everybody, quiet on set, quiet when I'm working, because otherwise there's going to be a ton of background noise. That's just life. Put the pets away though. Put the pets away. You don't want the kitty litter sounds in the background, or the dog barking, or any of that. You just definitely don't want to have any of that taking away from your fabulous acting. Okay. So make sure the house is as quiet, or the place is as quiet as you can get it. You can't control everything, but just control what you can. Okay. Of course, the pro tip would be have a home studio. home studio with a soundproof room. That would be great. But if you can't have a home studio, you can use a mic, and that will help your sound. And if you don't want to spring for the really expensive mic right now, just know that you will someday, and use a little lapel mic. Now, it doesn't matter if it shows, nobody cares. Okay. They know it's an audition. Nobody cares. They'll appreciate that you went the extra mile and made the effort to get your sound, at a professional level. So use a little lapel mic. They're very inexpensive. They're everywhere, easy to get. Use that. All right. Eyelines, level with the lens, super important. You do not want, this is one of the biggest mistakes, when people have a Zoom call and they put their laptop on their desk, and then they're kind of looking down at it and you can see right up their nose. You don't want to be that up the nose person. It's not a good look. So you want to keep, this is very similar to self-tapes. You want to keep that lens on the same level as your eyes. Everything, the focus should be on your eyes. Okay, this is a little acting tip here. Keep the focus on your eyes. That's what it's all about. That's where your power is as an actor, as an on-camera actor. Okay. Now the eyelines, they will want you to use a reader that they'll have a reader, and I've already asked. Okay. They said, no, you can't use your own reader. So just so you know, that's the answer. So they will have a reader for you that they will ask you to pin. Now, personally, I don't like surprises. So I want to rehearse everything before the audition. I want to make sure everything is working and I know what I'm doing so it doesn't throw me. The other thing is, if I pin somebody and they're like on a little, I'm going to be doing this, trying to see them on the screen. It's just, I don't even realize I'm doing it. I just end up. So I choose to use like a little eyeline for myself. Now you want to, going in for a little demonstration here on eyelines. So you want to keep your eyeline close to the lens, but not in the lens. For those of you who are new to on-camera auditioning, definitely not looking in the lens, but looking a few inches beside it. So here I'm about 2 or 3 inches closer to the lens. Now you have your one person. Now I'm looking at the rim of the computer, the rim of the laptop, right? So if I had somebody standing right behind the laptop, I would be looking there. Now, this is something you should be definitely practicing. Here's my other eyeline on the other side. And when you're looking down, if you have to look at something on the ground, watch that you don't do that, because for obvious reasons, we need to see that. So you cheat your eyeline, which means you look down, but not all the way. So if here I'm talking to an adult, and now I'm talking to a child, and now I'm looking at the ground. So you're going to just cheat your eyelines, and you can practice this, and this is something for you to do with your time. Definitely practice this. The other thing that's really important in auditions, all auditions, is you want to keep your face on the same plane as the camera, which means, and this happens when people get nervous, sometimes people tilt their head back. I used to do that all the time. I tilt my head. If I can see your nostrils, your head is too far back. So you want to keep your face on the same plane. You also want to avoid this, because then we're seeing the top of your head and you can see my roots. And so we want to keep the face on the same plane. Now, this is one of the most important disciplines you have to have as an on-camera actor, is holding your face still. This is Helen. She's a dear friend and student of mine. And this is me coaching her ring light and my ring light, a little figure eight there. Helen has me call in. I do a Zoom coaching. I do a lot of that. And she had an audition for the first time. It was her first time doing guest starring role. She auditioned for this thing, and they were doing it on Zoom. And here's what she used for her eyelines. She used the little sticky notes. Now here's the good person and here's the bad person. So she drew little cute little eyes. She sent me this picture after she booked the job. I was so happy for her. She's just worked so hard, and she has a great little studio that she's rigged up. And oh my God, I'm just so proud of her. And this is what she wrote me. Booked, holy, oh, so cute. You can read it yourself. But yeah, it was very exciting. I get so excited when my actors book, because I know how hard it is. And, we work really hard to get there. So it's very satisfying for me, almost as satisfying as if I booked it. So here's another one of my students, AJ. She's a fabulous actress, and she was doing a guest star audition for a role that she did book. And I asked her to just describe some of her process. So you can pause that and read it if you want. And she basically she called me up and we rehearsed with her eyelines. She used sticky notes. She set up her eyelines beforehand. She rehearsed it all. So there were no surprises for her. And she booked the job because she was prepared. Okay, guys, you got to prepare. This might take a little extra rehearsal for you to use the Zoom, to learn the Zoom thing, but the rehearsal is so worth it. The preparation is so worth it. You will be so much happier. Okay. Frame, head and shoulders. So here's your frame. Here's your rate. You just definitely don't want to do that. Okay. No, this is wasted space here. No space above your head. Have your head just touching the top of frame. Okay. Lens at eye level, already said that. See your eyes. You just, right below the shoulders is fine. Now, pro tip, wide, medium, and close. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate that for you by stopping sharing, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so here I have given myself some space here between me and the backdrop. You don't want to be touching your backdrop, right? Because it'll move and be distracting. But I have some space. So if I wanted to do an entrance, I can do it. I could be walking around. Oh, hello. And I can do an entrance and I have all this space to move. Now, I don't suggest making it's not a theater audition, but if you want to use, some space to make an entrance, just 1 or 2 steps is enough. If you want to do some action back here, you can. Just make sure if you do anything with your hands, keep it out of frame. It's not about your hands, right? But sometimes you want to be starting off doing something and then have that little walk in. Now, if you want, that's a medium close up. That would be the wider, the medium. And then if you want to make a point, you can lean in and make a point. But if you're going to do that, make sure you don't move your mouth much because it looks weird. Right? So if you want to be a bit bigger, you go back further. If you want to do close up for an intense point or whatever you want to do up here. I love that we can, kind of manage our own shot sizes like that. So slates are weird, right? Do you feel a little bit like you're doing a mugshot? Yeah. So I showed you about movement. So if you can get someone to help you, someone in your house, this is another little pro tip. If you can get someone to be your eyeline, that is also really helpful. Just listen to the voice of the reader and you can have your person, I use my daughter, if she's available, stand right behind the laptop. So her eyes are just kind of like looking over the laptop like that. I've done it for her too, so that you have human eyes to look at, even though you're hearing the voice of the reader. Okay, so that was just a little extra there, a little extra note. So if you can get somebody to do this for you and kind of pan down, that's great. If you can't, you just do it yourself. Okay. They know it's a Zoom audition. They know it's weird. So they're not going to think they're not going to think anything. Or you can just back up. And then you have as much of your body, they get a sense of it. They just need to get a sense of your size. When you're doing your slate, here's a little acting tip. Talk to them like they're maybe somebody who's come to your house and doesn't know anybody. They've come over for a party and don't know anybody. So you just want to be kind of welcoming, just to stop you from being like awkward and that awkward, like, hi, this is weird. I'm doing a slate. It's more like, hey, welcome to my slate. So that's just a little tip for you. That helped me. Okay. Entrances and exits. Definitely don't give them any empty space. They don't like empty space. They want your face. So keep your entrances and exits on camera, not coming in from, not entering from, outside. Okay. Now here's my favorite pro tip. Are you ready for this? This is the pro tip you've all been waiting for. It is my laptop stand. I love this thing. You guys have to get this. Okay. This is the best thing. This makes my life better. Laptop stand. Get the tall one. Okay. I even wrote it down here. Get the 63-inch, get the tallest one you can find. Do not screw up and get the short one because it won't be helpful. You know how you pile up boxes and pile things on top, they pile up whatever you're doing. I know you're doing it because I've done it myself. Okay. I piled things up to make sure I got the right angle. This laptop stand will save you. The really tall tripod for your light and the tall laptop stand. See, I have total freedom of movement here. I can run around. I've got, I can move. I'm standing up. My energy is better standing up. I'm a little more awake. So definitely get this laptop stand. I also use it for just working on my computer. So I use this every day. This is where my laptop lives now. Here's my daughter. She booked this audition. Actually, I took a picture of her while she was prepping, because I knew she was going to get it and I could use this picture. So here's her in front of our Logitech. You can see the Logitech thing. There's the cord, the Ethernet cord that you absolutely need. And she was rehearsing. So what we did is we did a prep. Okay, the day before, as soon as she got the sides, we did a really good intense prep, just sitting at the table, no trying to act it out, just prepping. And then we did a Zoom rehearsal. So we did a rehearsal on her feet in the space in front of the camera so she could get used to using the eyeline. We chose my eyes along with the reader's voice. And we rehearsed it because, it is weird. Guys, it's weird. Okay. Yes, it's weird. Everyone was like, oh, I'm nervous for auditions. Of course you are. It's really awkward and weird. So the thing you need to do is rehearse and prepare so that the most awkwardness and weirdness is taken away from it. Does that make sense? So you get used to the awkwardness. How about that? You get used to it. And then when you get used to it, you focus on your part, not on the tech, not on the awkwardness of it all. Okay, the waiting room. Here's the extra awkward point. When you're in the waiting room for commercials, they take better care of you because they have a lot more sort of inexperienced actors, but I'm talking about TV and film here. So when you're auditioning for TV and film, they have a little higher expectations of you. So they don't really hold your hand much. So you can get into the waiting room and there could be nobody there, or they might just come in and say, hey, you're on deck, or they might not. You have to be prepared for either one. Okay. You have to be prepared for that. No one's going to say anything and you're going to go in the waiting room and suddenly going to pop into the room. So there's no walking in and getting ready. You're just there. So the most important thing is you have to be ready. Don't space out. I promise you, do not space out and like, la, 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 what's happening over there? Because then suddenly you're in the room and it's awkward because you're like, oh, what happened? Or you could be, it just could be bad. So what you have to do is actually know that you're working and be professional and breathe and focus on the circumstances. I'm not breathing very deeply right now because I'm talking really fast, but that's okay because I'm going to do it now. Okay. And you're going to do it with me. So here's what you do while you're standing there, waiting to go in, waiting to do your audition and feeling like this is really awkward and I hate this. Make sure your feet are a couple of, 18 inches apart, hip width apart, and breathe. Do it with me now. No blowing candles out. Okay. This is not a weird, like awkward theater exercise. This is just breathing through the nose. Breathe in and out. And in again. And now you're looking at your eyelines. Where are your eyelines? Who are you speaking to? What are the circumstances? What's about to happen? What just happened? All of your prep. That's what you're doing while you're standing here in this weirdness, waiting to be popped into the room magically. You are going to focus on your circumstances, okay? This is your job now. You're an actor. Now you got to focus on your circumstances, not on the weirdness of the Zoom audition, because guess what? After you watch this tape and you go and practice, it's not going to be weird anymore, is it? No, it won't. And you're going to practice with other actors. And here's me doing a little Zoomy thing. I think this was an audition. And yeah, so there you see my ring light back here, my Logitech, all my cords. And see how much room I have with this backdrop. I have a lot of room up here. So get a tall backdrop. You'll be happy. Okay, there's my website, my email. If you need help, please don't suffer. Just call me or just email me and you can set up a coaching. I can really hold your hand through this process. I don't mind. I love to help people through this because I know what it's like to be stressed, and we can all use less stress in our lives. So definitely don't be shy. Knowledge is power. So get all the knowledge you can. Okay. And keep breathing, keep focusing on your craft. We can do this. Okay. We can adapt to this. It's not hard. And I'm here to help you. So just reach out if you need help. All right. And I hope you have some great auditions and have a lot of fun playing with your new studio.